All right, hello everybody. Mr. Graham here. I'm here to talk to you and give you sort of the basics on a program called OneNote. So the reason we're going to need this program, at least here in the first part of the year where we're all remote, is because we won't be together. We won't have the opportunity to take notes and put a bunch of notes into what we normally use, which is a composition notebook. You probably have one that you got off the school supply list. That composition notebook, what we usually use it for in English classes, it's called our ISN, our Interactive Student Notebook. And we'll tape things in there, we'll write things in there, we'll draw pictures and all sorts of things in there. But because we're kind of learning at a distance here, we need a technological option for that. So we're going to use this program called OneNote. I'm going to show you how to get everything signed up and how to get signed in, just the basics of the program and how to use it, how to navigate it so that we can get started. And then as we progress through the year and the first month or so of school, I'm sure you'll have more questions. We can answer those along the way. But let's at least kind of walk through how to get started. So let me show you how to do that. You're going to want to be in a browser window. I've got Google Chrome open here. So I'm going to go to OneNote.com. It's going to take a second or two to load here. And the web page is going to look like this. You're going to want to click the sign in button to sign in. Whether you know it or not, you do have an account because all of this is tied together with your PSD email, the school ID number that you use as an email address that you maybe have used in elementary school, maybe you're new to this. But what you're going to do is when it asks you to sign in, you're going to type your email address. Your email address is your student ID number. So I'm going to use a sample one here. This is not yours. But you're going to type in your own at psdschools.org. So whatever your ID number is, could be a 5-digit number or potentially a 6-digit number. You're going to type that in at psdschools.org and click Next. That email address is pretty important. Hopefully you've got it memorized. If not, get on that. And then it's going to ask you for the password that you set up. You probably set it up when you picked up your laptop, I would guess. So make sure that you type that in. It is case sensitive, obviously, so you're going to type in that password. Might ask you if you want to stay signed in. It doesn't really matter. Clicking the yes might make your life easier a little bit later. But when you log in, you'll get to this page that says Notebooks. Now, you might not have a recent tab. You might just have a tab that says My Notebooks or Shared With Me or Class Notebooks. Where you're going to want to start probably is by going to Class Notebooks, and you should see, if I did my job right, you should see a notebook there that says 6th Grade English Digital ISN. Once you've logged in already, you'll have that recent tab, and it'll show you, the most recent notebooks that you've used. But we can start here from the class notebooks. You can click on that notebook, and it'll start loading up what the OneNote interface or program looks like. So what you'll see is over here you got this big blank space. There's nothing in it right now. But then over here, you've got a few tabs. You've got one tab called Collaboration Space. You've got one tab that says Content Library, and then you've got a third tab that has your name and student there, right? So this is my friend Ella. She's a 7th grader. She's really nice and helped me out by letting me use her information and use her as a guinea pig here. So let's talk about each of these sections because you can click on each one of these sections to see some things. So Collaboration Space is where we're going to keep notes that all of us can contribute to, or more than one of us can contribute to. So let's say, for example, we were working all together on something. We wanted to type something together here on a page of notes. I can click on this class collaboration, and it says here on this page of notes, type your name and your favorite food. I gave you an example. My favorite food is lasagna. So Ella could come down here and type her name and her favorite food. Let's pretend it's ice cream. And then everybody else could type theirs below. So it's kind of like a big Google Doc that's shared with all of us, right? The other thing you're going to find in Collaboration Space is potentially some notes that are collaborated or shared between like a small group. If I've got you working in a small group and there's a group of 4 or 5 of you that I want you to work together on something, I can throw some, like I can give your group a name if you're the Beagles. I can throw some notes in that folder, and you, the 4 or 5 of you on that team can contribute to those notes. So you can type on the notes, right? You can type in the box there. You could draw on the notes, but everybody in the group will have the opportunity to do that in the collaboration space. So that's what that's for. The next section is the content library. So inside the content library is stuff that I want you to have access to, but that you don't necessarily need to edit or revise or change or anything. It's just stuff for you to like read. So let's say we're working in class and we want to read the myth, The Gift of Athena. We come here to the content library, we go to the myths. In the myths file is The Gift of Athena, and you can read that from home. You can read that anywhere you're on a device where you're using OneNote. In fact, you can get the OneNote app on like an iPad or an iPhone or anything like that, and you can access this information from anywhere, right? So that's the content library, just stuff that I want you to have, but not necessarily use, or not necessarily change or write on, right? You're going to use it, but not write on it. Okay, and then the last section is probably the section you're going to use the most. That's the one that's labeled here with your name, and it, we'll have student after it. If you click, what you can see is that there's a bunch of folders in there as well, just like in the content library and the collaboration space. These folders are things that I will insert into your notebook, so I'll kind of give you the notes, but then you can interact with anything that's in one of these folders. So you'll see right now, in Ella's notebook, she's got a unit 1, she's got a unit 2, she's got handouts. Maybe she wants to reorganize some things in her notebook so she can drag some things around and move them. She can customize it. She doesn't get to necessarily control what is put into it. She can add more notes if she wants, but everything that I choose to go in there is going to show up in your notebook every time it gets refreshed. So once she has the notes the way that she wants it, she can look. So in Unit 1 right now, she's got 2 pages of notes. She's got these brown bag notes. She's got my brand as a student. Inside those notes, there might be some videos. There might be some pictures. There might be some things to fill out. Again, I can draw on these. I can type on them, right? So I can come up here to the type box and I can type something in this little bubble here. And I can, if I want, I can edit things. So let's say, maybe I want to change the font size. I can come up here and I can make it a little bit bigger. I can change the font. So just like you would in Microsoft Word, you can make adjustments to it. And you can really click anywhere to type and add things on these notes. So that's how OneNote, that's how you can interact with them. Now, anything you type on your notes, I, as your teacher, can see. So if I give you, some work to do, like, okay, you got to watch this video and then you got to type some things in the boxes or write some things, I'll be able to see once you've done it on my side of the thing as well, okay? The other thing that might be kind of handy for you, this is the last thing I'm going to tell you, because once you know how to type and write and everything on these notes, that's really the basics, and that's all we need. It's just to navigate through the notes and find the stuff we need and then use it. But one thing that might be kind of handy for you, if you notice right up here, there's this button that says Open an App. Right now we're in a web browser, but you have a OneNote application on your computer loaded already. It has a few more features and makes things a little bit easier to use that app. So let's say Ella's she's trying to do some stuff in her notes and it's just not working. She can go ahead and click Open in the app. She'll leave here and it'll say Open OneNote. It'll start opening this program. You can click that away. And slowly but surely it's going to load up her notebook. So it's got to sync everything. It's got to make sure that it's got everything in there that I put in there, everything in there that she needs. Now you'll notice you can see all the same stuff that was in there before. She's got her different units, what makes a Mustang, Unit 2, handouts, class notes. She can navigate up to go back to her collaboration space or to go to her content library. She won't see anybody else's here. This is because I'm a teacher, so I can see my other students. But she can see the thing that's kind of cool about this and here is that it's a little easier to like kind of zoom and write things. So for example, if I want to use the drawing feature and I want to write instead of type, sometimes the text boxes get a little funky. I can zoom in really close on these notes, and that makes it easier if I want to do some writing, or if I'm using something that has a touch screen, I can use a stylus and I can write. Oops, I make sure I'm drawing. I can come up here to draw with touch, and I can draw that way, or I can write, whatever word I want to right here with my stylus, right? So the zooming in, which I can do, on the touch screen. Or I can do on my mouse pad if I'm on a laptop like that, right? I can pinch to zoom or I can pinch out. to zoom out or whatever. That makes it a little bit easier to write stuff like that. You can still navigate up and down. And then there might just be a few more features up here. There's some shapes that you can add and some different things that aren't available in the web-based version. So this desktop app of OneNote is sometimes handy if you want to do some more advanced things. But like I said, that's really the basics. All you absolutely have to know is, how do I find the notes that I need? How do I find class notes? How do I find handouts? How do I find, the content library so that I can find things that I need to read? How do I find the collaboration space to find things that I can collaborate with my teams on? And all that sort of stuff. As you come up with questions or you run into problems, you can always email your teacher, and they can help you out with that. But that's generally the basics of how to use OneNote.